Iron and fire have forged the destiny of nations through the relentless advance of armored machinery. From the narrow trenches of the past to the digital battlefields of tomorrow, this is the definitive timeline of the steel giants. 1929 Carden Lloyd. Mark VI tankette. British designers created this small scout in 1929 to provide mobile machine gun support. This compact platform became a legendary blueprint for light armor across the globe. 1930 TK2 tankette prototype. Then Polish engineers refined this experimental design in 1930 to explore domestic manufacturing capabilities. It stood as a game changer for the future of national defense production. 1931 TK3 tankette. Next up, the TK3 emerged in 1931 as Poland's first mass-produced armored vehicle. Its low profile and agility made it an iconic scout in early European conflicts. 1932 TKD tankette. Moving on to the TKD variant, which integrated a 47 gun in 1932 for experimental anti-tank roles. This model proved to be a versatile adaptation of a simple chassis. 1932 TKW tankette. Up next, the TKW introduced a rotating turret in 1932 to improve the combat visibility of the crew. It remains a fascinating example of early turreted light vehicle engineering. 1933 TKS tankette. Now we have the TKS, which entered service in 1933 with improved armor and a more powerful engine. This legendary machine was the most numerous Polish armored vehicle during the invasion of 1939. 1919 Renault FT light tank. Then French factories produced this revolutionary machine in 1919 to define the modern tank layout. Its fully rotating turret and rear engine configuration made it an iconic ancestor of every tank that followed. 1932 Vickers 6-ton light tank. Next up, the British designed this reliable platform in 1932 to serve as an export success for nations rebuilding their armies. It became a global game changer that influenced tank designs in the Soviet Union and Poland alike. 1937 4TP light tank. Moving on to the 4TP, which was developed in 1937 as a fast and modern replacement for aging tankette models. This sleek prototype showcased the peak of Polish light tank innovation before the war. 1937 PZ INS 130 amphibious tank. Up next, the PZ INS 130 was tested in 1937 to provide reconnaissance units with water-crossing capabilities. Its innovative flotation design marked it as a bold step into specialized amphibious warfare. 1938 10TP fast tank. Now we have the 10TP, which utilized Christie suspension in 1938 to achieve incredible speeds on and off-road. This powerful machine was intended to lead the mobile mechanized divisions of the Polish army. 1939 Hotchkiss H-35 light tank. Then the French delivered these sturdy vehicles in 1939 to bolster infantry support across European front lines. Its thick cast armor made it a tough opponent despite its slow speed. 1939 Renault R-35 light tank. Next up, the R-35 arrived in 1939 as a dedicated infantry support tank for the French and Polish forces. It gained a reputation as a durable but mechanically complex machine during the early days of World War II. 1943 T-70 light tank. Moving on to the Soviet T, which entered the fray in 1943 to provide a low-cost and effective scouting platform. This rugged vehicle was a legendary workhorse that supported massive armored breakthroughs in the East. 1950 PT-76 amphibious light tank. Up next, the PT-76 was launched in 1950 to give Soviet naval and reconnaissance forces a reliable swimming tank. Its iconic silhouette became a common sight in Cold War conflicts across the globe. 2013 PL-01. Light tank. Now we have the futuristic PL-01, which was unveiled in 2013 to showcase stealth technology and advanced modular armor. This high-tech concept is a game-changer for the visual and thermal camouflage of modern armored vehicles. 1940 Matilda I. Infantry tank. Then the British deployed the Matilda I in 1940 to lead infantry assaults with its heavy protection. Though small and slow, it was an iconic shield for troops during the Battle of France. 1941 Panzer III. Medium tank. Next up, the German Panzer III became the backbone of the Blitzkrieg in 1941 due to its balanced speed and firepower. This iconic machine set the standard for crew ergonomics and tactical coordination. 1943 Churchill. Infantry tank. Moving on to the Churchill, which was built in 1943 to climb over the most difficult battlefield terrain. Its legendary thick armor and durability allowed it to survive hits that would destroy lighter tanks. 1943 Cromwell. Cruiser tank. Up next, the Cromwell roared onto the battlefield in 1943 as one of the fastest tanks of the war. Its high-speed Rolls-Royce Meteor engine made it a game-changer for rapid flanking maneuvers. 1943 Crusader. Cruiser tank. Now we have the Crusader, which fought across the North African deserts in 1943 with its sleek and low-profile design. This iconic British scout was known for its speed despite its mechanical vulnerabilities in the heat. 1943 M4. Sherman medium tank. Then the American M4 Sherman arrived in 1943 to provide the Allies with a reliable and mass-produced fighting force. Its versatility and ease of repair made it a legendary symbol of industrial might and victory. 1943 T-34-76. Medium tank. Next up, the T-34-76 shook the world in 1943 with its sloped armor and wide tracks for winter combat. This game-changer forced every other nation to rethink their entire tank design philosophy. 1944 IS-2. Heavy tank. Moving on to the IS-2, which was unleashed by the Soviets in 1944 to smash through the heaviest German defenses. Its massive 122mm gun was a legendary tool for destroying bunkers and enemy heavy tanks alike. 1944 Panzer IV. Medium tank. Up next, the Panzer IV served as the reliable workhorse of the German army in 1944 after multiple upgrades. This iconic design remained lethal throughout the entire war due to its adaptable chassis. 1944 T-34-85. Medium tank. Now we have the T-34-85, which premiered in 1944 with a larger turret and a much more powerful cannon. It became a legendary icon of the Soviet push toward Berlin and remained in service for decades. 1946 IS-3. Heavy tank. Then the IS-3 appeared in 1946 with a revolutionary pike-nose armor design to maximize protection. This intimidating machine was a game-changer that sparked a new era of heavy tank development during the early Cold War. 1950 T-54. Main battle tank. Next up, the T-54 entered service in 1950 to merge the speed of medium tanks with the firepower of heavy ones. This iconic silhouette became the most produced tank in history and a staple of global conflict. 1960 T-55. Main battle tank. Moving on to the T-55, which introduced nuclear protection and improved optics in 1960 for the modern atomic battlefield. It remains a legendary platform known for its simplicity and rugged reliability in over 50 countries. 1978 T-72. Main battle tank. Up next, the T-72 was mass-produced starting in 1978 to provide the Warsaw Pact with a formidable and high-tech fighting force. Its autoloader and powerful smoothbore gun made it a game-changer on the global stage. 1993 PT-91 Twardy main battle tank. Now we have the PT-91 Twardy, which Poland developed in 1993 by heavily upgrading the aging T-72 platform. It features an iconic domestic reactive armor system and a modernized fire control unit for 21st century warfare. 1994 PT-94 Goril main battle tank. Then the PT-94 Goril was proposed in 1994 as a high-tech domestic alternative to Western tank designs. This ambitious project aimed to be a game-changer with its advanced protection and superior firepower. 2002 Leopard 2 main battle tank. Next up, the Leopard 2 was integrated into the Polish forces in 2002 to bring Western European standards to their armored divisions. This legendary machine is widely regarded as one of the best main battle tanks in existence today. 2022 K2 Black Panther main battle tank. Moving on to the K2 Black Panther, which Poland acquired in 2022 to revolutionize its armored capabilities with South Korean technology. Its advanced hydropneumatic suspension and lethal precision make it a modern game-changer on the European plains. 1920 Austin Putilov armored car. Up next, the Austin Putilov was used in the early 20s to provide mobile machine gun support during border conflicts. This rugged vehicle was a legendary survivor of the chaotic post-war era in Eastern Europe. 1920 Ford FTB armored car. Now we have the Ford FTB, which was built on a modified Model T chassis in 1920 for rapid reconnaissance. Its lightweight design and speed made it an iconic asset during the Polish-Soviet War. 1920 Peugeot 1918 armored car variant 1. Then, the first variant of the Peugeot 1918 arrived in 1920 to offer reliable French engineering for patrol duties. It was a legendary pioneer in the development of motorized cavalry units. 1920 Peugeot 1918 armored car variant 2. Next up, the second Peugeot variant optimized its layout in 1920 for better combat effectiveness in the field. This model served as an iconic bridge between early armored cars and modern scouts. 1920 Peugeot 1918 armored car variant 3. Moving on to the third Peugeot variant, which featured further refinements for specialized mission profiles in 1920. It remained a game-changer for internal security and mobile defense throughout the decade. 1944-20 armored car. Up next, the Soviet BA-20 was deployed in 1944 for liaison and light scouting duties behind the front lines. Its simple civilian-based chassis made it a legendary example of wartime mass production. 1944-64 armored car. Now we have the Bar-64, which emerged in 1944 as a compact and 4x4 capable scout for the Red Army. This agile machine was a game-changer for navigating the tight streets and forests of the Eastern Front. 1961 BRD-M1 armored car. Then, the BRD-M1 was introduced in 1961 as a specialized amphibious reconnaissance vehicle for Cold War operations. Its unique auxiliary belly wheels made it a legendary performer in difficult off-road terrain. 1964 FUG armored car. Next up, the FUG was developed in 1964 as a versatile Hungarian scout car used widely across Eastern Europe. It was an iconic platform for chemical and radiation reconnaissance during the height of the Cold War. 1988 Honka light armored car. Moving on to the Honka, which was produced in 1988 as a light and adaptable utility vehicle for the Polish military. This rugged machine became a legendary workhorse for transport and light combat roles. 2004 AMZ DZ armored car. Up next, the AMZ DZ was launched in 2004 to provide infantry with a modern and mine-resistant patrol vehicle. Its modular design has made it a game-changer for export and domestic security forces. 1950 BTR-152 APC. Now we have the BTR-152, which entered service in 1950 as a truck-based troop carrier for the motorized infantry. Its iconic open-top design allowed soldiers to quickly deploy and engage the enemy. 1950 BTR-40 APC. Then, the BTR-40 was released in 1950 to serve as a fast and lightweight armored transport and scout. This legendary 4x4 vehicle was a game-changer for Soviet and Allied mobile divisions. 1960 BTR-60 APC. Next up, the BTR-60 arrived in 1960 as the first Soviet 8-wheeled amphibious troop carrier. Its ability to cross water obstacles without preparation made it an iconic asset for modern mechanized warfare. 1960 TOPAS APC. Moving on to the TOPAS, which was a joint Polish-Czechoslovak design in 1960 for amphibious infantry operations. This powerful transporter was a legendary tool for naval infantry and river crossings. 1963 OT-64 SKOT APC. Up next, the OT-64 SKOT was introduced in 1963 with a superior engine and better protection than its contemporaries. This game-changer was widely exported and highly praised for its mobility and amphibious traits. 1970 MTLB APC. Now we have the MTLB, which began its long career in 1970 as a multi-purpose tracked armored vehicle. Its incredible adaptability and low ground pressure have made it a legendary platform for everything from towing to combat. 1989 BWP-2 IFV. Then, the BWP-2 entered Polish service in 1989 to provide infantry with heavy fire support and anti-tank capabilities. This iconic infantry fighting vehicle remains a deadly presence on the modern battlefield. 2004 KTO Rosomak. Next up, the KTO Rosomak was commissioned in 2004 as a high-mobility 8x8 platform for overseas and domestic missions. Its combat record in Afghanistan proved it was a game-changer for soldier protection and modular firepower. 2008 AMZ Zuba APC. Moving on to the AMZ Zuba, which was built in 2008 to offer enhanced mine protection for specialized military units. This heavy-duty vehicle is an iconic defender against improvised explosive devices. 2020 BWP Borsuk IFV. Up next, the BWP Borsuk emerged in 2020 as Poland's next-generation amphibious infantry fighting vehicle. This high-tech machine is a game-changer that combines heavy protection with swimming capabilities. 1944 Archer tank destroyer. Now we have the Archer, which was built in 1944 using a rear-facing 17-pounder gun on a Valentine chassis. This unique configuration made it a legendary ambush weapon for British anti-tank regiments. 1944 Hetzer tank destroyer. Then the Hetzer was produced in 1944 as a small and highly sloped tank killer for the German army. Its low profile and powerful gun made it an iconic and feared hunter on the late-war battlefield. 1944 ISU-152 SPG. Next up, the ISU-152 was unleashed in 1944 as a massive assault gun designed to smash heavy tanks and bunkers. This legendary machine earned its reputation as a beast killer during the Soviet advance. 1944 M10 tank destroyer. Moving on to the M10, which provided the Allies with a mobile anti-tank platform in 1944 using an open-topped turret. Its speed and firepower made it an iconic tool for countering German armor. 1944 Su-76 SPG up next, the Su-76 was mass-produced in 1944 to give Soviet infantry a reliable and versatile support gun. This legendary vehicle was second only to the T-34 in production numbers during the war. 1944 Su-85. Tank destroyer. Now we have the Su-85, which was designed in 1944 specifically to take down the new generation of heavy German tanks. Its powerful 85mm gun was a game-changer for Soviet armored divisions. 1945 Su-100. Tank destroyer. Then the Su-100 entered service in 1945 with one of the most effective anti-tank guns of the entire conflict. This iconic hunter remained a threat on the battlefield for many decades after the war ended. 1945 Su-152. SPG. Next up, the Su-152 was developed in 1945 to provide overwhelming firepower during the final assaults of the war. This legendary heavy gun was a game-changer for urban combat and bunker busting. 1945 Su-57. Tank destroyer. Moving on to the Su-57, which utilized American half-track chassis in 1945 to provide mobile anti-tank support. This iconic hybrid showcased the cooperation between Allied and Soviet forces. 1950 Su-57. Airborne tank destroyer. Up next, the Su-57 was designed in 1950 as a tiny and air-droppable tank killer for Soviet paratroopers. Its extremely lightweight construction made it a legendary pioneer for airborne armored forces. 1960 Su-85. Airborne tank destroyer. Now we have the Su-85, which entered the airborne units in 1960 to provide much-needed heavy fire support. This iconic machine was a game-changer for the tactical flexibility of paratrooper divisions. 1974 2S1. Gvozdyk SPG. Then the 2S1 Gvozdyk began its service in 1974 as a fast and amphibious self-propelled howitzer. Its legendary reliability has kept it in active service across dozens of nations for over 50 years. 1985 2S7. Pion SPG. Next up, the 2S7 Pion was deployed in 1985 as one of the most powerful conventional artillery systems ever built. This massive machine is a game-changer for long-range bombardment and strategic strikes. 2012 AHS. Krab SPG. Moving on to the AHS Krab, which Poland produced in 2012 to integrate modern NATO firepower with a rugged chassis. This legendary self-propelled gun has proven its worth as a high-precision game-changer in modern conflict. 1944 Crusader III. Up next, the Crusader III AA was built in 1944 to protect Allied convoys from the threat of the Luftwaffe. Its rapid-fire Bofors gun made it an iconic defender during the liberation of Europe. 1950 ZSU-57-2. Now we have the ZSU-57-2, which premiered in 1950 as a dedicated twin-cannon anti-aircraft tank. This legendary machine provided a massive volume of fire that could shred both planes and light ground targets. 1970 Hybnerit. Then, the Hybnerit was developed in Poland during the 70s as a specialized truck-mounted anti-aircraft platform. It became a legendary and flexible solution for protecting mobile columns from air attacks. 1970 ZSU-23-4. Schalke. Next up, the Schalke entered service in 1970 with a radar-guided quad-cannon system that revolutionized air defense. This game-changer became an iconic nightmare for low-flying pilots during the Cold War. 2000 PZA. Laura. Moving on to the PZA Laura, which was designed in 2000 as a high-tech anti-aircraft system on a main battle tank chassis. Its advanced sensors and rapid cannons made it a game-changer for the protection of mechanized forces. 1928 WZ-28. Armored car up next, the WZ-28 was a half-track armored car used by Poland in 1928 for frontier patrol duties. This rugged vehicle was a legendary bridge between horse cavalry and modern mechanized units. 1929 WZ-29. Ursus armored car. Now we have the WZ-29 Ursus, which was domestically produced in 1929 with a powerful 37 gun. This iconic machine was a game-changer for Polish reconnaissance during the interwar years. 1932 WZ-34. Armored car. Then, the WZ-34 was developed in 1932 to provide a more reliable and faster four-wheeled alternative to earlier half-tracks. It became a legendary scout for Polish cavalry brigades during the outbreak of the war. 1944 SD. KFZ-251 captured. Next up, the Polish resistance. An army utilized captured SD KFZ-251 half-tracks in 1944 to turn enemy technology against them. These legendary vehicles were game-changers during the desperate fighting of the Warsaw Uprising. 1945 SD. KFZ-250 captured. Moving on to the captured SD KFZ-250, which was pressed into service in 1945 for vital transport and scouting. This iconic German scout car was a valuable asset during the final push for victory. 1962 P-27. Anti-tank missile system. Up next, the P-27 was launched in 1960 to carry the first generation of Soviet anti-tank guided missiles. This game-changer signaled the end of the era where heavy armor was the only king of the battlefield. 1960 PTS. Amphibious transporter. Now we have the PTS, which was introduced in 1960 as a massive tracked swimming vehicle for river crossings. Its legendary payload capacity made it an iconic asset for logistical support in water-rich environments. 1987 BWR-1. Reconnaissance vehicle. Then, the BWR-1 entered service in 1987 as a specialized version of the BMP for advanced battlefield scouting. This high-tech machine was a game-changer for gathering intelligence deep behind enemy lines. 2002 M113. Command vehicle. Next up, the M113 arrived in Polish service in 2002 to provide a protected environment for battlefield coordination. This iconic American platform is a legendary workhorse used by almost every NATO member. 2004 HMMWV. Tumak. Moving on to the Tumak variant of the Humvee, which Poland deployed in 2004 for high-mobility patrol missions. This iconic vehicle has become a game-changer for rapid response and light infantry transport. 2008 Cougar. MRAP. Up next, the Cougar was integrated into Polish units in 2008 to defend against mine and ambush threats. Its V-shaped hull design is a legendary lifesaver for crews operating in high-risk zones. 2010 Max Pro. MRAP. Now we have the Max Pro, which arrived in 2010 to provide even greater protection for soldiers in modern asymmetric warfare. This massive machine is a game-changer for surviving the most intense roadside explosions. 2014 MATV. Then the MATV was added to the fleet in 2014 to combine the mobility of a light scout with the protection of an MRAP. This iconic vehicle represents the peak of modern armored patrol and utility technology. This journey through Polish armored history concludes. From brave scouts to modern tanks, the evolution of protection and power defines the nation's resilient defense. Thank you for watching.